The Bushnell Ion Edge is Bushnell's entry-level GPS golf watch, which you can buy in the UK for around £100 and is half the price of the Bushnell Ion Elite. So should you save yourself a significant chunk of money and go with the Edge, or should you be thinking about spending the extra and going up to the Elite? Now, as always, I've included any links to buy these watches down in the description below, along with any discount codes so you can hopefully pick them up for less than retail price. And I've also included a link to a video in the description where I've done a full comparison of this watch against 6 of its competitors, all for under £200. So if you are interested in buying a budget golf watch, then you should definitely check out that video after watching this one, of course. Now, although this is a budget golf watch, you are in fact getting a touch screen on it, and I was a little bit surprised at that. You've got a single orange button on the side here, and that is to take you back in the menus. But other than that, you're using the touchscreen to navigate the watch. Now, that is a little bit of a pain point, but I'll come on to that shortly. First, I just wanted to show you the actual screen of this watch. It's a backlit LCD display, so that's a pretty old school style of watch. And one thing that I was a little bit surprised at when I first turned it on is that this display doesn't really look like the displays that you get in the Bushnell marketing material. Online, it looks like a pretty solid colour and a pretty smooth display. But then when you see it up close, you can see that actually it's a bit more of a white backlight with like a grey rather than a dark black on the information on display. And also, you can see the little grids that make up this watch. I'm not going to be too mad at that because at £100, this is certainly one of the cheapest watches that you can find on the market currently if you're trying to buy a GPS golf watch. But of course, for that price, you're not getting a huge amount with this watch. This is going to cover off your core features. That being said, it's got pretty much everything that you could want in this golf watch if you're just interested in the essentials. So although you can't track GPS runs or walks or use this for cycling, and it's not necessarily the prettiest of watches, it's pretty plasticky in its display. It's got a pretty chunky plastic looking bezel, and I wouldn't feel particularly comfortable wearing this watch off of the course. That's not what this watch has been designed for. This has been designed for using on the golf course, and that's pretty much it. Of course, you can use it off of the golf course if you so choose, but personally, I wouldn't. Now, one perk of this basic display is that you're getting pretty good battery life, especially if you can avoid using that backlight. So you're easily going to get at least 2 rounds of GPS golf out of this watch, and it's going to last for a fair amount of time if you're not using it on the course, because the GPS is what's really sucking up that battery life. The watch does feel pretty plasticky and is very, very lightweight, but for £100, what more do you want, really? It works and it's got a touchscreen. All right, it's not a colour touchscreen, but it's doing the job. Watch also comes with Bluetooth, so you do have the ability to keep track of your scores and some basic data on the watch, and then you can upload that data to the Bushnell app on your phone, and then you can have a list of your score history, show you your scorecards, and also provide you with some pretty basic data around your putting accuracy and your tee shot accuracy. It's not the most in-depth, but it's nice to have, and it's nicely laid out on the Bushnell app. So using the watch out on the golf course, it displays all of the essential information that you need relatively easily. On the home screen, you are getting your distances to the front, middle, and back of the green. And then the way that you navigate to more information on the watch is generally by swiping through either left or right. And those menus are just on a cycle. So if you swipe all the way through right, you're going to come out the other side and back to the main home golf screen. As you swipe through, you can track the distances of your last shot. So you swipe to that screen and then start walking to your ball so you can tell how far you hit your last shot. And if you swipe again on the screen, you will also get the distances to the hazards on the hole. Now, a couple of things to say about this screen. First of all, it's only giving you the distances to the hazards. It's not giving you the distances to carry the hazards. And it is just this rather complex list of shortened words that are telling you whether it's a bunker on the left or centre or right, or whether it's a water hazard or a layup or those kind of things. It's a little bit, I won't say intimidating, but just a little bit difficult to digest initially. But you do get used to it, and you've got to remember, this watch is only £100. Swiping through again, you also get a whole view mode as well, and because this is touchscreen, you can actually move where the flag is located, and that will change the distance to the middle of the green for you. Well, because it's not the middle of the green anymore, it's where the flag's located. On the home screen as well, you also have 3 bits of information on the left-hand side. With the little flag at the top, that's indicating which hole you're on. In the middle is indicating what your current score is, and then underneath is letting you know what the par of the hole is, either a par 3, 4 or 5. If you tap on the score on the left hand side, then that will get you into your score entering mode if you've put that on the watch. And so there you can enter the number of strokes that you took, the number of putts that you took, and whether or not you hit your tee shot on a par 4 or 5, left, right, or hit the fairway. Again, it's pretty easy to use and everything that you could really possibly want in the basic functionality of a golf watch. One of my major gripes with using this watch is that the touchscreen can be a little bit fiddly. Normally with a touchscreen, when you scroll, you expect the screen to kind of scroll with your finger. So when you're navigating the menus, then you can just kind of easily go up and down as you scroll. With this, when you scroll on the watch, instead what it does is then just changes the page. So initially you have 3 options on the menu, and then when you scroll, it will then just jump you to the next 3 options. It won't gradually cycle through those options. It takes a little bit of getting used to, and it's not the end of the world, especially given that this is a budget £100 golf watch. But from a usability perspective, I can see that that might trip a few people up. If you have multiple different courses at your club, then that could be a little bit tricky as well, because when you load up to play golf, then you get a menu showing all of the holes that it's found, well, all of the courses that it's found, and it slowly trickles through the one that you are selected on. So it takes me a little while to make sure that I'm actually selecting the right course that I'm playing at. Charging it is really simple. You've just got a magnetic section on the back. You clip it on and the other end is connected to a USB-A, so it's nice and easy to charge. So in terms of value for money, this is pretty good in my opinion. You are getting all the core golf functionality that you could possibly want, well, not possibly want, but all the core functionality that you need to play golf in this watch. Distances to the front, middle and back of the green, distances to hazards, and the ability even to move the flag and to track your scores. With all that being said, if you are looking for something that perhaps looks a little bit nicer off the course as well as on, and then has a colour touchscreen display as well as a full hole layout, then you might want to consider upgrading to the Bushnell Ion Elite instead. Yes, it is double the money, but in many ways, I think it's worth it. However, if you're not that bothered about having a colour screen or a nicer ceramic bezel, or the ability to see the full whole layout of the course, then maybe you'll be absolutely fine with the budget entry option. Hit the like button if you're finding this video helpful, and make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can keep up to date on all my latest golf tech reviews. And make sure you watch this video next, where I compared the Bushnell Ion Edge with 6 other golf watches that you can buy all for under £200. And I let you know in that video how they compare in terms of golf functionality, style and design, usability and value for money, and generally I let you know which one I think is the best option.